Within the lost media community, there are many different categories that different lost media can fit into. Perhaps one of the most intriguing is the subcategory called Existence Unconfirmed. What this refers to is a piece of lost media which cannot be verified to exist. Topics like the Angry Beavers Cuffed Together pilot and the missing astrology with Squidward shorts have some evidence that support their existence, but are not 100% known to actually be in existence. Today we're going to take a look at another piece of Existence Unconfirmed lost media that has sort of reached a mythic status ever since the story about it was told years ago. It's the early 1990s, where Ren and Stimpy voice actor Billy West is at the Spumco Animation Building located in Los Angeles. At one time, a scraggly kid walks in completely unannounced and says he wants to write a song for Ren and Stimpy. Annoyed at this solicitor, the executives shrug him off and throw out the song that he gives them. The shocking part in all of this is that the solicitor was actually a musician, Kurt Cobain of Nirvana. This story comes from episode 49 of the Nerdist podcast, which was recorded back in 2010.
One day the scraggly kid comes in and said he wanted to write a song for Ren and Stimpy, and they said, yeah, that's great, and they threw it in the wastebasket. Oh. It was Kurt Cobain.
Oh, shit! That's an awesome story!
Yeah, I think John was like, who does this guy think he is? Who are all these people think they are coming in here?
To this day, Billy West's recollection from 7 years ago of an event that happened more than 20 years ago is the only shred of evidence we've ever heard regarding Cobain's effort to write a song for Ren and Stimpy. As a result, this has led to a bevy of speculation and discussion surrounding the validity of West's story. And to add to the confusion, whichever way you look at the story, none of it really makes much sense. So for starters, Ren and Stimpy premiered in August of 1991. Which is also when Nirvana's hit Smells Like Teen Spirit debuted on the radio, with the album Nevermind releasing a month later in September, and hitting number 1 in January of the following year. Now, for Kurt Cobain to have been shrugged off by Spumco, you'd have to assume that he made his pitch before he really became famous, a possible time frame of early spring or summer 1991. But at the same time, Ren and Stimpy was not airing at that time, so how would Kurt have liked the show enough or even known about it to want to write a song for it? Well, the Ren and Stimpy pilot actually debuted at a film festival. I read online that Kurt was into collecting bootleg VHS tapes of things like that. Putting 2 and 2 together, there is a chance that Kurt could have seen a bootleg recording of the pilot, liked the show, and made a pitch before he was famous, and before the show actually aired on TV. Not only would he have done this out of his own enjoyment for the show, but maybe he thought it would help get his name out there, since again this would have been before Nirvana hit it big. Curiously though, we also have to wonder how Billy West could have known that this scraggly kid was Kurt Cobain, if this was indeed before Nirvana became famous with their song and album. I guess he could have been into them while they were still unpopular, but that's something I wouldn't know. If that theory stretches things a little too far for you, then we can take a different approach, this time from the perspective of after Ren and Stimpy began airing, and after Smells Like Teen Spirit hit the radio. This would be around the fall of 1991. From this angle, we can theorize that maybe after Ren and Stimpy had begun airing on TV, Kurt watched the cartoon and liked it enough to want to make a song pitch to Spumco. However, at this time, Nirvana could have just been taking off, so Kurt wasn't to the point of national stardom, once again resulting in him being shrugged off. In this way, it's also a fair assumption to say that the Spumco guys weren't following Nirvana's rise to fame, and if Kurt had actually looked scraggly like Billy West says, that only hurt his chances more of being identified as the guy from Nirvana. By January 1992, Nevermind had hit the number 1 album spot in the country, so there's no way Kurt and Nirvana's fame would go unrecognized at that point, meaning that if this event is real, it definitely would have happened somewhere between the spring and fall of 1991. But there are so many gaps in the story that it's really hard to figure out what happened. How did Billy West recognize Kurt when no one else did? Why would Kurt have bothered to write a song for a cartoon when his band had begun rocketing into stardom? Or on the contrary, why would he have wanted to write a song for a cartoon yet to air on TV? I did find a picture online of Kurt with a Ren plush toy, which is something that definitely would have been made after the cartoon got popular. So maybe this is evidence that Kurt became a fan and made his pitch later on in the timeline. And maybe that means the Spumco guys just didn't like Kurt or Nirvana. I reached out to Billy West just to see if he had any more details to add on to what he's already said, but he didn't get back to me. Honestly though, there's no guarantee he'd really have anything else to add. The original mention of it in the podcast was so brief, and it's been so many years since the story came out that it's likely he would have given more details by now if there was something more to say. And unfortunately, we can't ask Kurt himself because he committed suicide. His estate has never come out publicly with any kind of word regarding this either, so even if a demo tape did still exist, it would be a wonder how it would ever be found. Though that also makes me wonder what exactly this song is supposed to be. Some articles you read online state that this was the theme song to the show, but Billy West never said it was a theme song, and upon listening to the voice clip over and over again, he never actually says it was a tape that was thrown in the trash, just that Kurt wanted to write a song and that the executives threw it in the trash. For the time being though, it seems we'll never know. Never know what exactly Kurt Cobain pitched to the Spumco executives or whether or not this fabled event actually exists. A lot of people have made points that Billy West's story, being the only story to ever surface about this, is certainly odd. But if Kurt was unrecognized and rejected, then wouldn't that make sense? The details seem to run in a circle, and it's truly mysterious to wonder if there actually was some kind of Kurt Cobain association with Ren and Stimpy that took the shape of existence. But until we get some official word or concrete proof in some way, this is one rumor that might never be solved, and so it remains a mystery.